that was launched way back in 16th January 2016. This program was launched with different programs, different incentives, and different discounts to various entrepreneurs so that the entrepreneurship can be boosted, the entrepreneurs can be supported, which can build a which also can build a robust startup ecosystem, and that can help transforming the India in terms of creating new jobs instead of creating the job seekers. We also discussed the definition of startup, which is mentioned under the government schemes. We discussed the important key pillars of support for startups under this Startup India initiative. Three pillars we have discussed, that is simplification and handholding. Second was funding and incentives. And third was incubation and industry academia partnerships. These are three main key pillars for Startup India initiative. Along with that, we discussed few facts related to India's startup revolution. Then, now today we'll be discussing about the various imperatives for Startup India revolution. For this revolution, what are the different imperatives? Do you know what is the meaning of imperative? You know, imperative. Simran? Parinita?
The importance.
Yes, sir.
I asked that are you aware of such
Hello, sir.
imperatives?
काहीतरी विचारलं होतं सर, काय इम्पॅरेटिव्हचं मिनिंग काय सर? सर इम्पॅरेटिव्ह म्हणजे ते अत्यंत आवश्यक अशा गोष्टी जे आपल्याला पाहिजेत ते वाल्या, म्हणजे व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट, इट इज नेसेसरी समजा.
Very right, very right. So, imperatives are the very essential things, or those things which are very, very important and essential for this revolution. First important thing which is important, that is intellectual property rights. You might have heard of this term intellectual property rights many times. So this intellectual property rights, first of all we'll see in what different forms this intellectual property rights is available or is present. So these are the different forms of IPR, that intellectual property rights, and how it is important for the startup companies. These are the different forms of IPR, intellectual property rights, which are very, very important for any startup. So the first form is your patent. So patent may be any invention which is novel, means which is new and can be useful and patented. This patent should be applied before launching the product. So when we are applying for any patent, so it should be applied before launching the product. Second form of this IPR, that is intellectual property rights, is copyright. Any literary object, namely artwork, poetry, or books, or music, that can be copyrighted, and this copyright can be applied anytime. Third form of IPR is your trademark. Trademark may be any name, symbol, mark which describes the product or services that can be protected. So, and this trademark can be done before or after launching of the mark. And fourth is your design. The design means the novel, ornamental, or appearance of any product. That is the design of your product. Appearance of the product or the design that can also be comes under this IPR, intellectual property rights, and this can be applied before launching the product. So these are the four different forms of intellectual property rights, and it is significant for different startup companies. So this intellectual property rights can help your startups to protect their products, services, their trademarks, or their designs from copying by other competitors. Having this IPR, intellectual property rights, the startup can have competitive advantage in the market. Competitive advantage we have discussed. Competitive advantage means an edge over the competitors. They can have strengths over the competitors, which can give advantage to the firm or the startup in the marketplace. This intellectual property rights, having this, can attract investors and may also help deter the would-be competitors. Those competitors who are thinking of launching similar products or services, they also will be discouraged if you have intellectual property rights for that particular products, services. For this will inhibit the competitors from copying all these products and services which are copyrighted and which are patented, and this will force the competitors to adopt different technologies. So the competitors will be inhibited from copying the products, the services, methodologies, or the technologies. They will have to, they will be forced to adopt different technologies, different methodologies, or different product services. So intellectual property rights are very, very important for any startup if they have really an innovative novel idea and that which they want to transform into a commercialized product or service. These intellectual property rights are very, very important so that they can protect their ideas, services, or products from copying by different competitors. These patents can also contribute finances by generating revenue from licensing. So by licensing these patents, the startups can also raise finance for their company. This intellectual property rights carries huge brand value for the company. This intellectual property rights will carry a huge brand value for the company, and with this huge or raised brand value for the company with the product, services, or different innovative ideas which are being protected by intellectual property rights, other people also have a confidence upon the company. Those all the investors, the suppliers, the banks, the customers, they also have a confidence on the company with all these intellectual property rights. So for a startup, having intellectual property rights for all these innovative ideas or innovations they have made, these intellectual property rights are very, very important for all these startups so that they can get protected from competitors and they can build the confidence to the all investors, all the stakeholders, the customers, and this can help a startup survival in the long run and having a growth for the company. Is this point understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is, okay, thank you. So this is first imperative, that is the first very, very important thing which is necessary for this revolution. Second thing which you are also experiencing nowadays is a digital transformation. So in this startup revolution, you will be also observing that this has become imperative or very, very essential for a startup to be digitally transformed. Everything you will see today, majority of all the things have become digitalized. Many of the times customers are purchasing online. So purchase, buying, these things have become online, digitalized. Communication, everything has become digitalized. So in this world of digitalization, these startups also are equally, they should transform their companies or transform their methodologies or operations so that they can survive in the long run. So the digital transformation of the company, the digitalization of all the methods, procedures, or the ways the way business is carrying out, that digital transformation of all these is very, very important for success. Using the conventional methods, the earlier methods of doing business are outdated now. Almost all the businesses, all these firms, all the startups, they are using digital ways of carrying out the business. So this digital transformation is very, very significant or an imperative for this startup revolution. This digital transformation can be achieved or can be practiced by having all these methods which I have listed here. First of all, adopt the right organizational culture. So this digital transformation can be practiced or can be observed through adopting the right organizational culture. The organizational culture should be such that the innovative ideas, methodologies, or processes are being accepted, are being encouraged. The different employees who are working, they should also think of having different innovative digitalized solutions to different customers' problems or different customers' solutions. So adopting the right organizational culture which supports all this digital transformation is very, very important. That is the first thing. Second is maximizing the evolving technology. So the technology is evolving every day. Newer and newer technologies are being coming up in the market in the different procedures, methodologies of doing business. However, every technology is not will not be fit for the startup. The startup does have to look at the evolving technology, adopt those technology which are useful for his startup. He should become more and more knowledgeable of different technologies which are useful to his business, and then adopt those technologies and maximize the use of these digital technologies in his business. That is very, very important. Then third is take the advantage of data. So this data is now become very much easily available with the evolution of technology. The data can be accessed through these technologies and digital transformation very easily, quickly. The data can be acquired, that can be transformed, that can be analyzed, that can be transferred, and this data need to be made use for the business. The first data that is related to the customers data, so that is very, very important for business to understand the customers, to understand the customers like, dislikes, their requirements. So that data related to the customers is very, very important. So taking the advantage of technology to get the data or to access the data, analyze the data, and then acting upon that data so as to provide the good solutions, better solutions to the customers' problems. So that is the first thing in data. Second, data which is required for making decisions. So for making any decisions, you are aware that information or data is very, very important. So that data can be made available quickly, and the required amount of data can be acquired by making use of the technology. So these technologies or this digitalization should be made use of for taking this advantage of data, which can be useful for making decisions also. So the managers or the top management, they can take the appropriate decisions, optimum decisions under this situation of uncertainties in the business. with the use of correct data which can be made available through use of technology. Fourth thing which is in this digital transformation is keeping the focus on customers experience. So this digital transformation, you can see if these firms or startups, they are transformed digitally, they can help the firm or the startup to keep focus on the customer's experience. Nowadays the customer's experience is very important, and therefore understanding the customers very well in terms of their requirements, their needs, their likes, dislikes, their taste preferences, that is very important. Secondly, how the customers behave in the marketplace, what is their consumer behavior, how that process of thinking towards the product and the process how it ends in purchasing the product, that entire process starting from thinking about the product and then purchasing the product. So the entire consumer behavior need to be understood by the these startups, and in doing this the technology or the digitalization can help this entrepreneur or startup to understand the customers and their behavior very well in advance, so that they can customize all their products, their services, and the content, all the deliverables as per the requirement of the customers, and at the same time quickly. So this digital transformation is very important for startups in keeping the focus on customers experience. Then optimizing the digital channels. So channels, if you see the different channels of doing business, the customers are nowadays, they are moving towards different digital channels nowadays. Gone are the days when the people were using different conventional channels for making purchase. Nowadays you will see the customers are now inclined more towards purchasing the different products online. So the company or the startup, they should digitally transform all their channels, all their products, services, contents through these digital channels, so that it can be accepted very well. It can provide quick service to the customers as well as a customized service or the products to the customers. So optimizing digital channels, so making the digital channels effective, that is important for startups. And then focusing on agility and flexibility. Agility means quick movements, a quick response, and flexibility. So in terms of customers, when you want to give a good customers experience through digitalization or the providing the good services, products as per the requirements of the customers, also having the agility and flexibility, that also adds value to the customer's experience. So through digital transformation, you can also focus on agility, that is quick response to the customer's requirement, also flexibility in providing the different product services, the customization into the different product services, and providing all those customer experience as per the flexibility required by the customers. Are you understanding this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any query till now?
No, sir.
Okay, shall we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So going further, we'll have to discuss related to different startup ecosystems. Sometime back we have talked about startup ecosystems. That term startup ecosystem we did not discuss in detail, but now in this topic startup ecosystems, we will discuss what is the startup ecosystem and the different key players in the startup ecosystem and their roles. So first of all, what is startup ecosystem? That we need to understand. This startup ecosystem can be sometimes it is called as technology ecosystems, tech hubs, or scale-up ecosystems. This is a definition of startup ecosystem. The startup ecosystem, as per the definition, startup ecosystem means the network of all interconnected and interdependent systems. So startup ecosystem refers to the complex system of entrepreneurs, startups, capital providers, government, and other players who are all interacting with one another to help startups within the ecosystem reach their potential. That means this startup ecosystem is a complex system. It is a network of all the interconnected and interdependent systems, and the different players in this startup ecosystem may be entrepreneurs, startups, capital providers, government, and other players. All these players of this complex system, they are interdependent, they are interconnected, and they will interact with each other. And the purpose is to help the startups within the ecosystem reach their potential to survive the startup firms and to ensure the growth of startups. Have you understood this definition?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we'll understand what are the different players and what are their roles in this startup ecosystem. So different players who are there in this ecosystem. The first player and the key player in the startup ecosystem is entrepreneurs. So entrepreneur itself is the first key player in the startup ecosystem. So it is the heart of any startup ecosystem. The entrepreneur is at the heart of any startup ecosystem. And being at the heart of any startup ecosystem, he drives all the other ecosystem players. He activates all the other ecosystem players which can help the entrepreneur or the startup survive and grow. So this is first key player, that is entrepreneur. There is one philosopher, Brad Feld. So Brad Feld, in his book Ecosystem Arabia, so that is his book Ecosystem Arabia. In that book he has mentioned that entrepreneurs are the leaders of ecosystem. So entrepreneurs are at the heart of any ecosystem. They are the leaders of any ecosystem, startup ecosystem. They lead the ecosystem and they drive the entire ecosystem and their players in that ecosystem. So entrepreneurs are leaders of ecosystem, and all the other organizations are the feeders. So as per Brad Feld, what he says is entrepreneurs are leaders of the ecosystem. However, all the other organizations in the ecosystem are feeders into the startup ecosystem. Feeders means those who feed or provide input to the startup ecosystem. Any query till now? Any query till now?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Then the second key player.
No, sir.
So the second key player in the startup ecosystem is the basic infrastructure. Infrastructure is required for any ecosystem. So infrastructure, the basic infrastructure which is required for the growth of any startup that is also a key player in the startup ecosystem. So the basic infrastructure has its own role in the startup ecosystem. This basic infrastructure includes effective transportation systems, telecommunication, and widespread availability of high quality internet. So these three important basic infrastructural facilities, that is effective transportation systems, telecommunications, and widespread availability of high quality internet, these are very important for any startup ecosystem that provides a very important input to any startup for its survival and growth. With all these infrastructural facilities like transportation systems, telecommunication, and widespread availability of high quality internet, if these facilities are not available, then there will not be growth or survival for that matter of any startup ecosystem, or that startup cannot grow. So therefore, this basic infrastructure is also one of the key player of startup ecosystem. Another player are the feeders. Different players. The first player of startup ecosystem we have discussed entrepreneurs. The second key player is the infrastructure, that is basic infrastructure. And third important key players is feeders. All those different organizations which act as feeders, those are the other players in the startup ecosystem. They have their own role in the startup ecosystem to nurture the entrepreneur, to sustain and to ensure the growth of the startup. They have all their own role in the startup ecosystem. So as we have discussed, this in this startup ecosystem, entrepreneurs are the leaders of the ecosystem, and all those other organizations which are called as feeders, they are also the players, key players in the startup ecosystem. These feeders, who are all the feeders, that we are going to discuss now in the present slide. Feeder means all those who provide input to the startup ecosystem so as to nurture the entrepreneur or the startup. So who are all these feeders that we need to discuss? We have discussed the basic infrastructure as a key player. We have discussed the entrepreneur as one of the most important key player in the ecosystem. And now we'll have to also discuss who are all the different feeders as a key player in the startup ecosystem. These are the different feeders in the startup ecosystem which have their own role in the startup ecosystem. The feeders will include government organization, the capital providers, large companies, advisors, and customers. So these are important feeders which provide the important input to all those startups within the startup ecosystem. We'll have to discuss all these feeders in the startup ecosystem. What are these different feeders and what are their roles in the startup ecosystem, that we need to discuss. The first feeder in this startup ecosystem is government organization. So government organization, they have their role of providing a conducive environment to the entrepreneurs or the startups so that they can survive and they can ensure the growth. So how government can ensure that? The government can ensure this support or this input to the startup by driving the level of regulation applicable to the new ventures. There may be different regulations or controls to the startups or new ventures. By driving or by controlling these regulations which are applicable to new ventures, government organizations can provide very good input to the startups or new ventures. So by having this approach of low level or maybe high level regulation towards the new ventures, they can provide support to the new ventures. So government organizations can have two types of approach: low level of regulations, wherein there are less regulations, less control of government on the startups related to regulatory compliances or the different taxes, like that. So low level of regulations, and there may be high level of regulatory approach. So in low level of regulatory approach, government can provide support to the new ventures by having less regulatory compliances or by providing different concessions or different subsidies to these new ventures. So government has its role to support the startups or new ventures by providing support by having a flexible or having a less control or less regulatory control over these startups. They can provide support, they can boost entrepreneurs by providing flexibility in having their own startups, easy accessibility to all government documents, all government regulatory compliances, by making all those compliances very easy for the startups, by boosting the startups, by providing consultancy or by providing all those subsidies and discounts or concessions at different stages. So government organizations can then therefore support to the new ventures. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
Then second feeder are the capital providers, those who are providing capital or investments to the startups. Those capital providers are also important feeders or those inputs to the startups or the startup ecosystem. In capital providers, you will see there are different types of capital providers who are providing capital to new startups. You will see there are different types of capital providers like friends and family who provides capital to a startup. There may be angel investors or venture capital or private equity. Do you know what is the meaning of angel investors?
No, sir.
Venture capital, private equity.
No, sir.
Okay. So we'll discuss.
कैपिटल मीन्स जो आइडिया पे लोन देते हो.
Okay, okay. We will discuss. Angel investors means those individuals which provides funds to the startups. Angel investors are the individuals or people those provide funds to the new startups or new ventures. Venture capital or venture capitalists are also a similar term. Those provides funds or investment, they make investment in the startup ventures. However, the little difference in angel investors and venture capital is that angel investors are the individuals who invest their own money. However, venture capitalists are the people or individuals who will invest the money which is being pulled from different investment companies or different large corporations. Are you getting it now?
Yes, sir.
And then there is private equity. So private equity means those private limited partners who pool money from different investments and they invest all this money into the new startups. So that is called as private equity. Private equity means those private limited partners, they collect investment and then that investment is used to invest into new startups or new ventures. So these three types, that angel investors, venture capital, private equity, or even the friends and family, are the different capital providers to the startup ecosystem or to the different new ventures or new startups. So this is also very important feeder into startup ecosystem, and it has a very important role because without investment or without any funds, startup cannot work. So startup, it requires funds to get started. That funds can come from the funds, his own funds, his family or friends, angel investors, venture capital, or then private equities. So as the startup starts its operation in the early stages, you will see that at different stages there may be different requirement. At the early stages, the friends and family or the angel investors can be helpful to get investments for the startup. However, as the business grows at the later stages, the requirement can be different. The startup can require large investments through venture capitalists or private equities. So this capital providers is a very important feeder in the startup ecosystem, and it has a very important key role in making the startups start their operation, starting their new venture, survive, and then further grow into the market. So this is the third capital provider. This is the third feeder. That first is second government, then capital providers. That is the second feeder under the startup ecosystem. There may be two more feeders under the startup ecosystem: large companies and advisors and customers. So we'll discuss this and then we'll stop. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Maybe 5 more minutes, so that at least this topic gets over. So then the third important feeder under the startup ecosystem is your large corporations. So large corporations, they have their own role in providing a support to the startups. They have twofold role. They have their role in two different ways. First way is providing capital to the startups. So many large corporations, they provide capital to the small businesses or the new startups or new ventures as an investment into the new businesses. And they have second role, that is feed the growth of startups. They also feed the growth of startup by many ways, by providing them support, by providing them consultancy, or by providing other facilities. So large corporations, they have their own way of providing input or providing support to the startups under the startup ecosystem by providing capital and by providing the support to the startups. Then there are different advisors. Another feeder is advisors. So advisors are also called as support professions. Advisors may be also called as support professions. There may be different support professions like lawyers are there, the accountants are there, investment bankers are there, So all these different support professions, they help startups to provide advice, to provide consultation to the startups. So this is also, advisors are also very important players in a startup ecosystem. So these lawyers, accountants, investment banker, they provide consultancy and guidance to the startups at every stage of starting the business, then surviving the business, and during the different phases of growth. As this entrepreneur is focusing on the business operations, these lawyers, accountants, and investment bankers, these type of support professions or different support professionals, they can help entrepreneur by providing support, guidance to complete all the compliances, government compliances, or the legal advices that can be provided by expertise and knowledge of all these professionals, so that entrepreneur can focus more on the operational part of the business. So these are the different advisors who are important feeders into the startup ecosystem. And one more feeder is the customers, the customer itself. So customers are also very important role in the startup ecosystem. Without a customer, the startup cannot be established. The startup itself is established to provide some solution to the customer. So customers are at the focal point for any startup. So without a customer, startup cannot survive. So the customer, his different requirements, these are very important input to the startup ecosystem. So this startup ecosystem, as we have discussed, it is a complex network, complex interconnected network of all the people in the system, which are interdependent and they complement each other, they help each other for the ultimate success, ultimate purpose of surviving and growing a startup. So we have discussed the startup ecosystem and their roles. The key players we have discussed, that is entrepreneur, the basic infrastructure, and different feeders like government organizations, capital providers, large companies, advisors, and customers. Is it understood to you all now?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with this, what we'll do is we'll stop here for today. We'll meet in the next session.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
any query so far? If you have any queries, still you can ask.
No, sir.
Okay, then we'll stop then. Huh?
Mummy,